Greta. So pleased to have you here on the Salon Owners Collective podcast. Thanks for joining me.
I'm so excited to be here, to be back joining you on the podcast today, Riss.
Well, I know some people listening right now don't know who the heck are you. So let's start with, who are you, Greta? Where are you in the world? What do you do? How did you get to be doing what you're doing?
Well, I worked for Larissa in her salon in Blue Cactus, and love took me away from Riss. However, it also has brought me back, which is great. But when I moved away, I worked in a national chain salon and worked as a regional manager. We took over, I took over approximately around 17 salons and managed them, worked with them to improve and grow, and supported them over, I think it was about 6-7 years plus. Gosh, time goes away on me sometimes. And I have now ventured my way back into Larissa's world and have been here coaching salon owners. And it's been about 3 years, I think, Riss, now, hasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Again, time just goes. So, yeah, supporting salon owners to come out of the overwhelm, step up as a salon CEO, and reach their ultimate goal of becoming that $1 million salon. And I'm just absolutely loving it and enjoying every moment of supporting and working with the amazing salon owners here. It's just, yeah, it's amazing. Love it.
Greta and I, Greta, when we first worked together, you came and joined me in Salon Mastery, and we were helping the owners. And over time, we noticed some reoccurring challenges popping up with owners and the relationship they had, or their working relationship with managers. And it subsequently led us to start the Motivating Managers program, which you completely run now.
Yeah.
You still serve and coach with me in Salon Mastery, but run the Managers program. So I thought this is a really good topic for us to talk about today, because it's not a new problem, it's an ongoing problem. How do we get our managers to perform properly? Because to be honest, when I first meet owners, Greta, you know this well, one of the biggest complaints I hear for those owners that have a manager is, this is exactly what I hear. I've put a manager in place, but I'm still doing all of the things. I don't know what the manager's doing. I'm still doing the things, but I'm paying them as a manager. So I thought we must bring this topic here to the podcast, because I think often the owner thinks that it's the manager's fault and the manager's not doing their job right.
Yes.
Do you think this is true, or is there something else?
Oh, I absolutely agree. I think what I hear a lot of is exactly that they've put a manager in place and it's just nothing's progressing. They're still chasing every little job, every checklist in the salon, and that then leads to that feeling of they're just not doing their job. They're not doing what I asked them to do. Or what, in another turn, they're both, salon owner and manager are doing the same job, which it's doubling up on things. And I also hear a lot that things, obviously, like we said, just don't get done at all. And I think that then can really lead to frustration and think that someone's not doing their job properly, right? And think that we've got a bad manager and they're not the right manager, they're not the right person for the job. And sometimes we ship them out because of that. But it all comes down to the communication. And I think that that's one key piece that we just need to nail, especially when we're putting in place a manager in our business to take over the pieces that we don't want to be doing anymore.
Well, let's talk about improving communication, because I agree with you. It's the lack of communication, and it's actually the owner's responsibility to set the culture for communication, right? Yeah. So what do you think? Give us a couple of ideas of some things we can put in place to improve communication, or to improve that, I guess, the output of the manager.
Yeah, absolutely. key pieces, there's three key pieces really. Two quick ones, quick and simple and easy. A checklist, so that it is who's doing what, and then you're ticking it off daily, weekly, monthly, and that both know who is taking action to what, and that it's easy then for the manager to follow. They know their expectation, they know what they need to follow. And reporting is another one. Reporting back from manager to owner and owner to manager, even, just so that you can have a really great communication channel, a great space in place, a system that is going to support the checklists, what's happening in the salon, what's going on, all of those key pieces that go on in the salon, so that again the jobs are getting done and the things are getting ticked off, and you're all clear on who's doing what. So by having a clear checklist and by having a great reporting system from manager to owner, it's going to give clarity for everybody, and a system that is future-proof. Like, you can use this ongoing forever, and I think that's a key piece.
Can I just add a layer on there just for super clarity? You're talking about a checklist and a report that the manager does, but also the CEO does. So that checklist is a checklist for, it's got the one that we have in the Motivating Managers program. There's a checklist for what the manager does, and right below it is what the CEO does. Why is that important?
Oh, I think, again, clarity. It's just super, having that clear in one document. Again, they're both seeing who is doing what and allowing no double ups to happen, and then allowing the job to be completely done rather than it not getting done at all. So I think both being able to have that visual tool of a checklist, and it, again, like we have it in Salon Mastery, where it's in one page, it's on one document, you can both use it and navigate who is doing what, and what does each role involve. I really feel like that is like a game changer for the salons.
I know one of the, I just want to kind of switch into owner hack for a moment, because I know one of the common problems that I end up talking about with owners, or we talk about with owners, is that they feel bad about the time that they're spending, or that the team don't know what they're doing when they're not serving clients. And I think something like this that gives visibility not only to the manager for what they're doing, but that there's visibility for what the CEO is doing. So the team actually know, oh, when she's not here or when she's in the office, I know what she's doing. She's busy. She's doing all the things. And so now I can fully step into my role and do my things. And that kind of takes away a little bit of that fear sometimes when I know, for me, I've certainly felt bad about delegating stuff to other people, and that clarity makes it easy. Tell me a little bit about the reporting process, and why that's important.
Look, I have used the reporting process since day one in my leadership roles, and it is something that I will always strongly recommend, because it gives a space in place for the manager to review their week, review what's happened, what's going on, and remind them about the key things that they need to be checking in on, regularly, every week, every day. And it forms a great habit of communication and opening that book of allowing the manager to ask for help, and sharing what they're having struggles with. And I think that key piece is golden, really. Sure. And allowing, that again, that there's a system, and a system creates habit, and habit creates, amazing results. And I think that's what I love about the reporting process.
For an owner to have information flowing towards you in a systematic approach, i.e. the reports due every Friday, is a game changer, because as the owner now, you don't have to go fishing for the information that you need. It's traveling towards you. Now, as an owner, you're holding 500 tabs open already in your brain. To have to think, oh, I wonder what the manager is up to and if she's even doing her job, is another layer of complexity that you really don't need. So to have the information flowing toward you, so you don't have to go and be the person that's the checker honor person, changes the relationship, because now the manager has autonomy and doesn't feel like their owner is checking up on them because they've already provided the information ahead of time. Can I just give you, Greta, a little thumbs up, because you are the best at this. You always tell me stuff before I've even thought that I need to know it. And I just love and adore that about you, because it makes my job, does two things. Makes my job as an owner really easy, because I don't have to check up on you. Two, it increases trust in our working relationship like 500 times. I never worry about what you're up to, because you always tell me before I need to know. And that, to me, makes a beautiful working relationship.
Yeah, and I like I say, like I feel like as a when you are the person doing the reporting and writing the things down, it's reflection time, and that up levels your manager, up levels them to understand what has happened and what they've learned and what maybe has been great and what maybe hasn't been so great in the week. And I think that, again, you know, putting that action into place builds that trust, because you're forming this, I'm going to give it to you, you go forth and have your week, and, you know, come to me.
Conquer the world.
Yeah, absolutely. You're really sharing with them that you are, you know, leaving it in their hands, and that's responsibility. And I mean, I know many of you listening will probably say, you know, and have seen in your team, when you give a team member responsibility, they up level, they lift themselves up, they stand taller, because they're like, I've got this is mine. And I think that's very, I've seen that happen with reporting and having that clear system in place.
Greta, let's talk about job descriptions. Like, are they really needed? What's the deal?
Oh, yes. Job descriptions, 100% needed. I highly recommend these to happen before the role has even has found the person, because you need your job description. You want your job description to be what you want your manager to be, right? You want it's their expectations, it's what they need to do to fulfill their role as a manager. If someone doesn't have a job description, and I have seen this a lot, when managers don't have job descriptions, they don't know what they're doing, as in they don't know what is my job, what am I meant to be doing. I know I need to help my team, but how, why, what? I know I'm meant to, you know, lead the day and encourage my team to increase sales, but how, why, what? You know, they need detail, and I think we forget that. Sometimes we put them into the role thinking, oh, you're going to be great, you're a great leader, you're a great leader, you'll be a great manager. And then 6 months down the track, they're not doing what they should be doing, but they don't actually have a clear understanding of what their role is. The job description is and will do that, and then you can reflect on that as well with them, and so that will help them understand again what their job and role is. So yes, absolutely needed, Riss. And I think that when we don't have that depth and clarity as leaders and managers in the business, again, like I say, it just does not, the role will not be fulfilled to the level that you want it to be as a salon owner.
Experiences, 97% of people actually want to do well, do a good job, be a good human, fulfill their potential. Yet the majority of people are not doing that because of lack of clarity, lack of clear systems and processes and job descriptions. Let's talk a little bit about time, because yes, we sell haircuts and we sell facials, but actually we sell time of our team. So this is another thing that we notice, Greta, that is a roadblock to managers successfully filling their role. Talk to us about making time for our managers to be managers.
Absolutely. Another one that I come across quite frequently is a manager, one, not knowing how much time they need to spend on their job, like their role, but two, actually, having that time allocated every week to do what they need to do within their role. And it's super important. I know as a salon owner, we hat switch a lot, right? We can go from being stylist on the floor or therapist on the floor to being, CEO and in a one-on-one meeting with a staff member, in a flick of a finger. That can be a hat switch. You've got also to think when you're developing your job description and then coming into, how much time does my manager need? We need to make sure that we are giving them that information, that they can have time to do what they need to do as a manager to fulfill their role. And that may mean marking out time in their day, week, to do what they need to do and get the job done.
The stuff on their job description and the tick list.
Yeah, absolutely. Because sometimes, if you're on the majority of the time, we have managers that are fully on the floor and doing clients day in and day out. And I think that for them, that is a struggle. They're like, where am I meant to fit this in? I meant to plan trainings and plan huddles and plan all these things. And how do I fit that into my week? And as a leader, as a CEO of your business, we need to lead them and give them that guidance and communicate with them on how and where this does fit into their week, so that they can learn how to do that hat switch and they can learn to fulfill their job description and be able to do that by allocating the time.
Yeah, and I know that the mental shift for the owner is, when they're creating a training plan, they're not serving clients and making income right now. So I think it's about recognizing that every hour that they spend on training and developing team or systems and processes, that it's actually, you're going to get an exponential return further down the track. It's just not, you're not going to get $100 this hour from doing a haircut. You're going to get $3,000 over the next 12 months because of what was happening in that hour. And I think that's the mindset we need to, that's the flip that we need to do to give the space to our managers to actually be effective.
Absolutely. And again, this comes back to our question and answer right at the start around, the fact that we're not giving that communication channel as well as, it comes back to that time that we communicate that time with them. We communicate and talk to them about what does this look like? I think, and I feel like this allowing time and giving them time, it really is like wrapping up what we've just talked about into a little bubble and just going, this is going to hold us together. This is going to hold us together and help us move forward in this, leadership role. So I know that with time, again, we've seen it as well, where it can be hard to start out. Like if you place a manager that's full-time on the floor, she may be he may be a fully booked stylist or therapist, and hey, where do we fit that time in? Start small and increase it over time. That's something I've encouraged a lot of, especially with our managers in our Motivating Managers program. Start small, increase it over time. And that's where, as leaders, again, CEOs, we need to ensure that we're supporting them in that and understanding that, they may not be able to fulfill everything right at the get-go, but over time it's going to increase. And you're future-proofing, like you said before, Larissa, about the, increasing sales over time. It may not be that they have that sale now, but over time and in future, you're future-proofing your business by allowing your manager to have time now to help and support your team to grow.
Yeah. There's a saying, I don't know if I'll get it right, the fish stinks from the head down. And I feel like, we kind of said right at the beginning of our chat, Greta, too often we think it's the manager is not good enough, or is not performing, or is not right. But actually, it's up to us as the leader to be clear about what we want, give space for what we want, get it written down, give them tools to succeed, because 97% of people want to do great. We just need to let them. Otherwise, we throw them out there onto to the lines, if you will, and say, hey, go and be a manager. Good luck.
Yeah.
I hope you do good.
Yeah. Have fun.
Yeah, have fun. See ya. I'll be over here. So much so that, like, a part of the managers program, twice a year, you run a communication boot camp with the owner and the manager together to make sure that you're setting up a system for their communication and job descriptions and all of those pieces. So super important. Greta, as a coach, you also have a business of your own on the side. What is a quote or a mantra or something that really you think is important for salon owners that keeps you focused on the straight and narrow?
I have so many. Like, I am absolutely adore like mantras and quotes, and but I've chosen one to share today that is around really what we've talked about. Something that I utilize every day, and I think it's not just with my business, my space within Salon Owners Collective, but life in general. Good communication is the bridge between confusion and clarity. So it's making sure that we have that good communication, because if we don't have that that bridge and that communication channel, we're either going to have clarity or we're going to be confused. So we want to make sure that there's that bridge to clarity. And if we don't have that bridge, we get confused, which is really summarizing what we've talked about today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. What is a book or a podcast that you've listened to, or a book that you've read recently that all owners need to get their hands on?
It may be one that you've listened to or read before, but Dare to Lead by Brene Brown is an absolute favorite of mine. I also love her podcasts, but her book is absolutely awesome. And I just feel like, again, coming into leadership and being in that leadership world, that's like a must, and something I would also pass on to managers to read.
Yeah, nice. Oh, yes, good idea. All right. Greta, I know people want to come and find out more about the managers program. Where should they stalk us?
Oh, absolutely. Come reach out and talk to us. You can find us, or me as well, at the Salon Owners Collective Facebook group. Follow us on Instagram. That is where you'll see me, hear me, and find me there as well. And definitely reach out. And if you want to know more about the Motivating Managers program, here to help and answer all your questions.
Thank you for taking some time out of your world to hang with us. I appreciate you so very, 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 very much.
Thanks for having me. It's been fun to talk about something that I'm super passionate about, and definitely hope that it's helping others out there as well with their management team.
Absolutely.